Hey everyone, welcome to the video that I will be doing on Ethereum. Today is February 21st, 2020, and I want to do a little bit of, I don't know, reminiscing on, what happened with Ethereum here, just kind of taking a look at, um, you know, stop losses and taking a look at all of that. So, first off, I want to take a look at what we were looking at when I did my video update a couple days ago. It was back here. It was on the 19th, and it was right in the middle of this green candle right here. And let me remove the algo off of this just to kind of clean things up just a little bit, and take a look and see what happened here. So we were kind of going against what we typically look at, which is looking at this being the local high up here. You had the 1 hour and the 3 hour that were both up here at the same time, and the 3 hour was also in prime position for a drop. And we were looking at this, and we thought that we saw a bit of an ascending triangle, ascending wedge. Didn't exactly work out that way in the long run, but what we were looking for, of course, we were looking for Bitcoin to close the gap, yada, yada, yada. And I said, if we were going to take this trade, you better stop loss on the other side of 280. And we spiked up, we spiked up and out of this here. We hit, 287.45. We had a pretty swift rejection, and eventually we did get to that point where we started to fall. And on the Discord, we were watching this, and I had a long position. I want to say my long position was at like 282, 281, 282, somewhere inside of this red candle right here. I don't know the exact number, but once we got to that 280 and we started breaking down below that, it was like 279 or so, that's when I finally decided, okay, I'm just going to cut my losses and get out. And it's a really good thing that I did. And that's the reason why we have stops, right? So yeah, the trade was bad up here. There was a setup for us, and the setup was to take the trade, take the long position or spot buys, whatever that may be, and then stop loss on the other side, 280. All right, and of course we took the stop. I know some of us did. I think there are probably some of you that didn't do that. But now, we had a pretty significant pullback to this 248, 250 level. This is going to be pretty important for us to continue to hold, although I do think that Ethereum has a good probability that it's going to come back down to this 220 level, maybe even down so far as to the 200 level. As you can see here, up here, this is the only time we've really done any kind of consolidation. This is just very little consolidation over here, minor consolidation over here. Basically, the price moved in one direction, and that direction was up from the point where we broke through 200 all the way up to 290. Came back to 240, and then we recently came back to the 250 level. But what I think can happen here if we don't reclaim these 287, 290 levels, I think that we probably see 200 before we see 300. I don't want to get too caught up in bias because we saw what happened the last time I did that, which was up here. I said, okay, well, we're going to hit 300 before we hit 250. Now I'm saying that, the chances are that we're probably going to come back down, even if it's only down here to 230 to 240 before we push up to 250. And one of the reasons why I say that, I think that this hurdle right here is pretty important here, 268. What it is, I took a fib pull from the bottom to the top here, not taking into account this top up here. Basically, I'm just talking about this impulsive move, and we came back to the 786. But now we're having a little bit of a struggle at the 382. So if we can overtake 268.75, we'll call it 270. We'll call it an even 270. If we can overtake 270, then I think that our chances of going up are a little bit greater. But I think as long as we're staying below this level, I think that that the probability is saying that we're probably going to move down. But now let's take a look at this from the flip side. Taking a fib pull from the top up here down to this bottom right here. We're struggling here at the 50. The 618 is sitting up here at 271.50. So possible we go up to 271.50. But again, this level is going to be, I think this level is going to be resistance for us. So we have to keep an eye on this. I would say anywhere from this level all the way up through 271.50. This is going to be our resistance level to pay attention to. I would be interested in opening up some small short positions in this area if we come back up here, especially if we get to the 271.50 level. That's going to be the level that I'm going to be interested in. That could potentially take us back down here to 235.80, 235, 236, somewhere in that range. That's going to be the target if we get a rejection here at the 618. More likely than not, we're going to come down here to this 235.80 level. Of course, if we break up above 271.50, let me change my template on this just a little bit. And at 271.50, let me put on my 65% on this. So if I put the 65 on this, that's 272.80. So you've got a little range. You've got a little range between 271.50 and 272.50 essentially. Doing a stop loss on the other side of this, really the risk to reward is small. The risk to reward, is actually good. Your risk is small. Your reward is great, because if we are going to come down here to this 235.80 level, you've got a good high probability entry, which is going to be right here. We'll call it 272, and then doing a stop loss right up here, right on the other side. I think this could coordinate with this candle cluster over here. We've got more candle clusters over here, so 273.50. Maybe you give it a little bit more. We're talking about 0.64%. Maybe you go up to 275. 275 is basically going to give you 1.25% risk for a potential 13% gain. So if you're willing to increase leverage on this to maybe 2 or 3x leverage, you are going to be looking at oh my goodness, I'm sorry, you can't see the chart. Apologies for that. I'm sitting here talking, didn't realize that I didn't switch the chart over. Sorry about that. But anyway, gosh, I feel like I need to go back and recover this since you couldn't see the chart here. Essentially, this fib pull from up here at 287.45 down here to 245.65, and we're looking at the 618 here, 271.50. I guess this is the flaw from doing these things live. Sometimes you have a little bit of a flub every once in a while. But still, the negative 236 extension down here at 235.80. So this is the trade setup that I'm interested in looking at. Again, looking at buying here inside of this golden zone between 271.50 and 272.80. So I'm going to call it, we'll call it right around 272. Stop loss right around 275. And you're looking at a 1.14% approximate loss if it goes against us. And we're looking at a potential 13% gain. Again, if you do 2x or 3x leverage, you're going to be increasing these numbers by 2 or 3. So, really talking about, maybe 2 to 3.5% loss on 2 to 3x leverage. But you're also looking at, 26 to 39% gain if it actually works out. Taking a look at the stochastics. All right, so looking at our Stokes here on our indicator, the 1 hour is just recently cross bearish. I'm not ready to say that this is like a fully confirmed bearish cross on this yet, because we're still up in the bullish control zone. Really I want this to go down below 75, but the 3 hour is still pretty erect. The 12 hour, interestingly enough, the 12 hour, it crossed bearish all the way back up here. So this is when the 12 hours said, hey, you should probably get out. And, coincidentally, I didn't listen, and I was talking about getting into a trade about the same time. My mistake. But we don't have a bullish cross on the 12 hour yet. So by the velocity in which this thing went down and then went down again, I would say that we really do have to take over 275, get back up here to this level in this area before this 12 hour crosses bullish again. If we get the 1 and the 3 hour up here in overbought conditions at the same time, similar to what we had back here, especially if it occurs in this price range, that's going to further bolster my idea that we are likely going to be moving down. What I do want to point out here, let me move down to a 15-minute time frame and just kind of point this out as well. We do look like we've got a little bit of a channel here. Let me outline this. Parallel channel, start from right here, work my way up to here, and then move down. So we've got this little channel that we're actively working inside of. And let me go ahead and zoom in on this just a little bit. So, what we've got here, we've got basically, we're looking for, basically 5 moves. So we've got the first move here, the second move down here, we've got the third move here, fourth move here, and then potentially this would be that 5th move right up there. And I can actually probably pull this back in just a little bit. Let me move this around. So just to kind of tighten that up just a little bit, very, very possible that this is in the works. And then of course down here, as far as geometry goes, we're holding this level. This level is holding. We have this low here. We have a higher low, a higher low. We recently had a higher low. So once this starts breaking, then I would say we're probably going to be coming down before we hit this level. But nonetheless, it is very possible for this to kind of move its way up, come down here, test it again, move its way up into our zone, and then break down. So again, we're going to be looking for that 271 to 273 range to open up shorts. Unless we break down and out of this, I would say that that's probably going to be the strategy, because right here, it's just a lot of chopping going on. Again, if we get up here to the top of this range, I would say probably that would be a good place to enter that short. Right now, the top of this range is looking to be about 270. So if we get up to 270, likely we're going to see some bearish divergence. What you can see here is from this high to this high right here, we do have a little bit of bearish divergence on our 15-minute stochastic. So we have a high here, and then we created a higher high on the price, but a lower high on the indicator. So again, that's one more thing to kind of take a look at and pay attention to. So, getting another move up here to 270, depending on how quickly it happens, we could get another sign of bearish divergence on this as well. So be keeping an eye on that. Nonetheless, this is the trade setup that I'm looking at based off of the fib, pulling from this top up here, down here to the bottom, and retracing 61.8%. We are currently struggling at the 50, but I think that it's possible that we get up here to 271.50. I am not suggesting going in any long positions here. What I am looking for, I'm looking for a short, just for the record, and I think we're approaching that area where we could potentially be getting that short opportunity. But I think shorting at this current price, or rather longing at this price, is a little risky, and even shorting here, because we're still inside of the channel and we're still inside of this this rising horizontal, or not rising horizontal, rising diagonal support. I'm not necessarily convinced that opening up a short here is a wise decision either. So I would say wait, give it some time, get up here to the 618, and then take out this swing low down here at 235.80. And of course, what that would essentially be, that would be a raid of this low over here to clear out any stops that are on the other side of this level, because a lot of people are sitting pretty comfortable in their positions, and we get a nice move down to an A, move up for the B, and then go down for the C, which is basically going to be to kill these longs. And from there, we'll reevaluate, but that's my opinion on the market right now. So apologies for the issues earlier today, earlier in this video on Ethereum. I'll try and do a better job of making sure that I've got the chart up and available to you guys. But if this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, especially the last half of it, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And wherever you're on the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and good evening.